Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take on each contestant. We'll give you our feedback on their voice and their overall performance. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll always keep it 100 with our feedback and critiques of each contestant, but what we're not here to do is come for anyone's character or any contestant as a human being. Even though sometimes we do come off a little pitchy at times, if you know what I mean. We'll always do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. And with that, let's go ahead and get started with night 4 of the blinds. Stephanie. I don't know what it is about these Tuesdays, but we got some singers that they are just premiering on Tuesdays. This is like the second Tuesday in the row. It's not that Mondays aren't good, but Tuesdays, right. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been another great week all around.
Yeah, great week. Oh, so you know what? Without further ado, let's jump right in. Who do we have first?
Let's jump. First up was Kate Cosentino. She's 23 years old. She's from Kansas City, but she now lives in Nashville, and she did her rendition of Say a Little Prayer by Dionne Warwick.
No, Nashville has a bench.
Deep bench. Yes.
I mean, these folks are moving all over from the country, and it really, like, it's Music City, and it just seems like Nashville is where it's at as far as the music scene. It's so interesting that music scenes do geographically change. I mean, of course, there are always locations like New York and LA, but you know, with the South, with Atlanta, and now Nashville. Well, Nashville's always been there for country western and Christian contemporary. Right. But we're seeing other artists with more poppy sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You can sing pop Christian contemporary or pop country western, and there's a lot of fusion going on in Nashville, and I like what I hear. Mm-hmm. So Kate, again, this bench is deep. I'm just going to jump right in. You know, she gave me, now the voice did not sound like, but so flow with me, you all, for a second. She gave me Amy Winehouse vibes with the funky look. Mm-hmm. And there, before Amy Winehouse blew up, before the Back to Black album, Amy Winehouse put out an album before that, which was fire, that I suggest all of you all to check out. And she did a song called "Stronger Than Me." Stephanie, I may have sent this to you years ago, and it was just Amy playing the guitar, standing there, and that's what it reminded me of. Yeah. So check out Amy Winehouse, "Stronger Than Me." It's early Amy before she became Amy. Yeah. But I was thoroughly impressed. Kate, there are more. I'm starting to see a trend, and I like this trend that I see. Stephanie, there are more and more singers that they're bringing in this season that are driving in their own lane. Yes. Right. Mm-hmm. Like nobody else sounds like them. Right. They are a fusion of genres of music. Right. And they could go any direction. Mm-hmm. And they're 100% authentically them. Right. And I felt Kate was 100% authentically her, singing, number one, a monster of a song. Right. Okay. This is Burt Bacharach, and rest in peace, Burt Bacharach, who recently passed away. And Dionne Warwick made this, you know, it's a Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick collaboration, one of her biggest songs ever. So it's a very known song. It's a song that spans many generations, and it was stripped down. I love, as much as you and I love this band, Stephanie. Yeah, it was Kate and her guitar. Yes. Yeah. And her electric guitar. Excuse me. Yes. It was Kate and her guitar. Mm-hmm. So Kate was strumming my pain with her fingers. So you can't mess up, right? When you don't have the band behind you. Yeah. Especially the guitars that the voice band has, and it's just you and the guitar. You are exposed. Absolutely. But to me, exposed in a good way if you got talent. There you go. And let me tell you, Kate Cosentino has talent. Mm-hmm. Her voice, she does this. I can't even describe it. Just keep using the word ethereal, but I'll call it a Lilith Fair thing.
Yeah.
A Lilith Fair type of sound. Like,
yeah.
And for those of you that do not know the reference, Lilith Fair started in the 90s, and it was originally, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephanie, an all woman concert.
Yeah, it was a female festival.
A female festival.
Yeah.
Of alternative rock music. Sarah McLachlan, I think, started it.
Yeah, Sarah McLachlan, Fiona. I think Fiona Apple was in it.
Was a part of it. Yeah. It was like who's who of the late 90s, mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s was a part of Lilith Fair.
Right.
One of the biggest festivals of the year. So I think she's going to go really far. You know, what I love about the voice always brings a quirky, and this is, Kate, if you're listening, this is a very positive compliment, excuse me, but they always bring a quirky auditioner or a contestant to the show. Mm-hmm. And quirky is cool as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
And I feel drawn in because your voice and your tone is so unique, so interesting, and your song choice was fire. So yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see what she does in the blinds, because I think she is the type of voice that will complement another good artist on the show. So
absolutely.
I hope they pair her up with someone who's very artistic as her. Her look wasn't just artistic; the voice was artistic. If that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, what you got, Steph?
I loved her from jump because her whole package at the beginning before she performed, like, you saw exactly who she was with her clothes, with her music, with, just everything. You could we knew who, what kind of person Kate was. We knew that she was creative, and we knew that we could expect something different. How different? I did not expect what I expected from that audition. I did not expect for her to be playing electric guitar. Now, nobody comes on this show and plays electric guitar solo without the band and sing their audition as well. That in and of itself was compelling. And I was hoping that the judges would catch wind of the fact that she was playing because she was the only instrument. So I really loved the musical choices that she was making. She talked in her package about how her music, I forget exactly how she put it, but she said her music was a little bit different. Her styling was a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And you could tell that in some of the melodic choices she was making and some of the articulation choices she was making throughout the song as well. I loved the first chorus, how she started low and then flipped it up to the higher part of the song. I really thought that was a smart choice. It's a really smart way in a short amount of time to show how much range she had. And if coaches, I can't remember, but if coaches hadn't turned by then, they turned then.
Absolutely.
because she showed her range. She had a nice falsetto. Yeah. She definitely has that singer-songwriter vibe, but different. Kind of like an artist that I said yesterday. I can't remember her name, but it was a different kind of singer-songwriter vibe. And I think that has to do with like the conversational kind of approach that she took to this song. I think she's cool. And I also wanted to say that I love the electric guitar choices that she was making, because even as her vocal was kind of conversational, her guitar playing kind of was the same way, if that makes sense, to be able to do that with an instrument. So I can't wait to see what she does next. And like you said, I can't wait to see who they pair her up with in battles.
I know that you're also a stickler. If you all listen to this Pitchy podcast, Stephanie is a stickler for ends of phrases.
Yes.
And did you notice, like, she
all
did
lines
things at
finished.
The end,
yes.
But they were different. Like she did.
Her lines went like this a little bit. They floated a little bit.
Like it was a different approach to the end, approach I've never heard before. Mm-hmm. To the ends of her phrases that really made me pay attention, because Stephanie is the ends of phrase police. Like if you don't sing your ends of phrase, she's gonna call you on it.
I like it. I just think that it shows a good vocal when you can finish your lines.
It does. All right. So who did Kate end up choosing?
Kate ended up choosing Coach Niall.
I was kind of surprised with that. Niall's actually stacking up a pretty good team.
Yes.
Usually the newer coach, it takes a little bit of time to settle in.
Yes.
But I think that this is Niall's humble approach. And if you notice, Niall gets so excited when the voices start singing. Like
do you see his face?
The joy.
His face lights up. He's just like, like, I love that. I love that because I feel like that's how we react, James, when we hear somebody that we really love. Like our face lights up. And that's why we love music so much.
Absolutely.
Is it gives us that joy. So I love seeing that from him. Yeah.
Good. They're going to be a good matching pair because Niall's a singer-songwriter. So to your point earlier, Stephanie, he'll pick, I believe, they'll collaborate and pick some very good songs and very good arrangements together.
Yes, absolutely. I did not officially do my homework last night about the fun fact, but I do remember from Kate that in middle school, she would make guitar, what are they called? The straps. She would make original guitar straps
and they were nice.
They were nice. Like, I don't know what kind of material she was using to make the graphics that would be on the strap, but really cool.
We see your hustle, girl.
Come on. Entrepreneur.
We see that hustle. Come on. Middle school. That's what I'm talking about.
Totally.
Okay, great. So who do we have next?
Up next, we have Chloe Abbott. She's 24 years old, and she is from Detroit, Michigan, and she sang How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees.
And if y'all see what I'm doing, I'm pumping my arms because I'm running track because she is our Olympic hopeful.
Absolutely.
She is looking to qualify for the 20, and I know this is a fun fact, I'm sorry, but she announced at the beginning.
That's all right.
Of her show.
Yes.
But she is trying to qualify also for the 2024 Olympics in Paris in the 400 meter race. So Chloe, how deep is your love, right?
Yes.
Wow. I think her choice of song is great. You can't go wrong with a Bee Gees song.
Right.
You just can't go wrong. And I believe that this was the PJ Morton version.
I think so,
featuring Yeba.
Right.
That came out a few years ago. That won a Grammy. You're already grooving. And Chloe, you know what? You know what I liked about her? I liked her lows, Stephanie.
The lows were beautiful. Absolutely. That first, go ahead. I'm not going to.
No, talk.
I was going to say her first verse of that song in the lower range was really, really, really pretty. And I believe that that's what made Chance hit his button, like right in that section, because it was really, really lovely. Mm-hmm.
And to Stephanie's point on a previous podcast, I believe you talked about this the last time, Stephanie, about how difficult it is, especially for the higher voices. Whether you're a woman or a male that has a higher timbre in your voice,
right?
To really, you have to sometimes give more breath support to get the low to phonate the way you want it to come out. And I thought she was very secure on her lows, and I really was like, okay, you're gonna sing, sing this song,
right?
And then what was really nice about her performance is that she showed range.
Yeah,
right?
she did. Mm-hmm.
She showed some serious range because she kind of went up there.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, girl.
Yeah.
I would say this to Chloe, because thank you, Chloe, for giving us a shout out on Instagram. I would say this, Chloe, when you're working with your coaches and stuff, work on the transition from your lows to your highs, because you have a strong low and you have a strong high. So work on everything in the middle leading up to it. And because I think you're right there. I really believe you are right there. So really work on that part of your voice, that middle part of your voice where your voice kind of will stay.
Right.
But I thought it was kind of cool what you did, because you gave us lows and then you gave us highs, and you stayed in the highs, which is very difficult to do.
It is.
But I know that there are going to be songs in the future that call for you to sing in your middle voice.
Right.
So really work on your breath through the passage, or passaggio, as we like to call it in the classical music world. And it would be, it's fire. It's
Absolutely.
Gonna be fire. Absolutely. What you got, Steph?
It was interesting because when I was listening to that first verse, not the tone of her voice, which she has a very pretty tone to her voice, but the way that she was articulating her phrases reminded me a lot of Corinne Bailey Rae.
Nice,
like the way that she kind of phrases her words. Yes. So that was really cool. I can really see Chloe in that vibe, that kind of coffee house type R&B-ish vibe, which lent itself really well to the version of the song that she picked. One thing that I noticed, that when she got into the highs, which again, she does have a really wide range. I did notice though, because as James said, I am the line finisher police. Yes. That there were a few times where she was just a bit under the pitch a couple of times. And once she got into the chorus the second time, there was a moment where it felt like, and she actually did adjust, and she did go to a lower place in her range, but then she went back up. And that, if that was an intentional choice, if that's how she had practiced, then I think that that's really cool to, again, not stay high, to kind of show a little bit of range within that 90 seconds that they have to perform. I think that we all as singers sometimes find ourselves in a place where we're like, oh, is this working? Is it not? Right. And I think that it's always important, especially for us as solo artists, to always have a plan B ready, because I know for me, sometimes I'm on stage and my voice is just not there to sing the higher things in my register, and I'm an alto. So I always want to have a plan B, a little bit in a more comfortable place in my range, so that I can go to that to make the song successful. So again, I don't know if Chloe's choice for the second chorus was an adjustment, or if that's how she had planned to do it. If it was an adjustment, I would just always advise or say, always have a plan B and have that ready. But overall, it was a really lovely song choice. She was lovely on stage, and I can't wait to see what she does next in the competition.
Absolutely. And that is a wonderful point that you made, Stephanie. As a voice teacher, as I was taught voice, I was given the best advice at a very young age when I started singing professionally, that only you know your voice like you know your voice. Like nobody else knows your voice like you know your voice. Right. So you know what you need to, you know your voice intimately. Yeah. So you know there's just days where you wake up and it's just not there. Right. And like to Stephanie's point, make those adjustments. And the thing that I'm excited about is you are a runner, Chloe. You are a runner, so you know 100%. You know about breath more than I do. Exactly. So, as to Stephanie's point about finishing those lines and watching your pitch on those lines, all it is that extra breath, right? Yeah. That extra tug from the diaphragm, from that low breathing space. Absolutely. And if anyone knows about breathing, as an Olympic hopeful, you know about breathing. That's so true. Olympic hopeful in track and field. You know about breathing. You could teach us about breathing. For sure. For sure. And I think someone remarked on your breathing. Yes. I think Chance did. Yeah. Last night. So so remember that. Just remember that when you're singing, breathe. Yeah. I know it's a simple concept to hear, but really looking forward to what you're going to bring. Yes. Because let me tell you, when somebody like Chance, the rapper, compares you to Anita Baker and Norah Jones, come on, girlfriend, I know you were like, whoa.
Right.
Some of the giants.
Heavy hitters.
Exactly. So I don't want you to let that. I have a feeling it didn't scare you. But know that Chance really hears some amazing things in you, and take advantage of everything that he tells you and everything that the guest coaches tell you as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So who did, well, I kind of said it, but didn't say it, but who did she end up going with?
She ended up with Coach Chance, I believe. She
great
ended
pairing.
Up with Coach. Yes.
He's going to be really good for her.
Oh yeah,
really,
absolutely.
Really good for Chance.
Yeah.
And then good for you for dealing with all of that lie detector stuff last night.
I know. What was that?
So maybe if you come on the Pitchy podcast, you can tell us all about that.
Yeah, she seems like and we don't know what order all this thing goes. All of these artists, go in. Whether everybody that was on last night's episode actually went in that order, but she was a really good sport about it. That whole
she was
bit. So
awesome. All right, so who do we have next?
Next, we have Marcos Covos. He's 30 years old, and he's from Dallas, Texas. And he sang Tu Solo Tu. It's either by Selena or Luis Miguel. I'm not sure which version he did, but
I think those it was Selena. I think it may have been Selena's version.
Okay.
The queen of Tejano music.
Woo!
But hey, come on.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, baby. Hey, come on. I could fall in love. Come on, Selena.
Weep. I could weep right now every time I hear that song. Oh my gosh.
If you all know about Selena was a child prodigy.
Yes, vocally. She was.
So Selena had already cut all these albums before the world discovered her, before she was tragically taken from us.
Yes.
Because she was going to be the next, what they say, she's going to be the next Gloria Estefan.
Yes.
And, but so early, like childhood Selena, she sang a lot of mariachi, and that's what this song was. Mm-hmm. And I love, I'm like Kelly, I love, because, what's her name? Sophia did mariachi yesterday too, from Monday night.
Yes.
But she didn't unfortunately make it through. But I'm like Kelly. I love it when they bring music on that we don't get to normally hear.
Right.
And I'm not going to talk about Marcos' story because I get choked up.
Right.
Because his story was amazing, a story of reconciliation. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go back and watch the episode to watch how he and his family have come back together. It was absolutely beautiful.
It really was.
But let me tell you, Marcos. Yo, Stephanie, he can sing his behind off, okay?
Come on.
Yo. Like, did you hear the growls? Did you hear the vibrato? Did you hear the emotion? Did you see how he worked the stage?
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, dude. And just because of his look, he was giving me some Adam Lambert vibes. With his look, right?
Yes.
But
it's good.
I just was like, yo, if you sing mariachi like this, like anything you sing, dude, because mariachi is very difficult music to sing.
Did you hear? Yes, because they go there is no straight lines in mariachi. It is all over the place melodically.
It's crazy. And I love that you were representing your heritage with that. Mm-hmm. And I love and see folks that can do that, like you can't play with them because they can sing popular music and they can sing music from their heritage. So let me tell you, wait till you hear him sing popular music, y'all. Y'all, if you didn't catch how amazing this man's voice is, you're going to catch it. You're going to catch it. I'm sorry, Steph, go on.
No, because I'm getting upset. Go ahead and finish. Finish what you're going to say, and then I'm going to go in.
I'm done.
Because I'm about to go in.
Okay, please go in.
Because number one, I will talk about Marcos's performance. I have no critique. Zero. It was I will read my notes. It was a flawless vocal. He had power. His upper register was ridiculous. Crazy. The runs, and I can't even call them runs because that's how the melody went in the song that he sang. Ridiculous. No pitch issues. I just sat back and enjoyed. And I knew that I could sit back and enjoy from 3 seconds in. The minute that man opened up his mouth, I said, pen down. Let me just absorb this deliciousness of a performance. So I'm going to need for you or any of our Pitchy podcast watchers or listeners to tell me why Kelly was the only one to turn.
No, she wasn't.
Well, Blake turned at the end.
No, Blake was playing games, and I was going to bring that point up.
Blake was playing games. But tell me why he was not a four-chair turn.
Not a four-chair turn?
Because why?
I knew Blake was going to turn because you knew Blake liked it.
But he took too long. But he took too long.
But because make your point. Please make your point, because I'm right there with you with this point, because I'm mad because they all should have turned.
Because was it because he was singing in Spanish?
Better not.
Was that why? Because Ricky Martin could never. Enrique Iglesias could never.
No.
And when I say could never, I mean he could never sound as good as Marcos. And I think that they both sang in Spanish and English. What you think? Because he's singing in Spanish.
Anthony.
I got a list: Gloria Estefan, J-Lo, Selena y los Dinos, and Selena Gomez, Enrique Iglesias, Ricky Martin, and the list could go on. Did these folks not sing in Spanish and English? So I'm going to ask one more time. Why was he not? I forgot Mark Anthony, if I didn't say him before. But yeah, I'm going to ask one more time. Why he was not a four-chair turn? Because his vocal was perfection.
One of the best.
One of the best of the season. Let me make that clear. So I was very upset. And I do think that Blake liked him. I was mad that he waited to the last minute because it was to mess with Kelly. But I do think that he liked him.
Oh, yeah.
Niall and Chance, what was up with y'all? Because this man, he better be in lives. Let me make that clear. Marcos had better be in lives because he was that good.
Going to tear up.
He was that good.
The knockouts. He's going to tear up
the battles.
He's going to tear it up. Like, it's I feel bad for whoever he's up against because
Thank you. I was upset, but I'm so happy for Marcos. I think Coach Kelly, that's who he went with. That's who he picked. He picked Coach Kelly. They're going to be a good pairing.
I appreciate Kelly's appreciation for the genre.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Come on. I mean, she is a Texas girl, so she better have an appreciation. That music is as American as apple pie. Don't get me started. It's as American as
for those of you who are listening, I just have my face scrunched up. That's what my silence was. That was my face scrunched up.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Okay.
All right, so who do we have next? Oh, Stephanie.
Woo! We have Tiana Goss. She is 29 years old, and she is from Los Angeles, California. And she sang "Emotion" by just Destiny's Child.
Originally done by the Bee Gees.
Yes.
Of course. But it's another one of those songs like when Magnus did Sarah Smiles. Mm-hmm. It's like you hear the opening and you just go to a place. Even before they open their mouth.
It's literally like a strum of the guitar and a beat and like a beat of a conga or whatever. And It's like,
you just go to a place.
You just go to that place.
the Bee Gees wrote another. It's a perfectly written song. It's been done on the show by many people. And Tiana, I love that she came back. Here's another one, Pitchy Podcast crew, that has come back from last year.
Right.
Because she received no chair turns last year.
Right.
So again, it's an opportunity for 3 out of the 4 coaches who've never heard her sing. So, and let me tell you, I called or text Stephanie. I said, that was one of the greatest openings of a song of an audition this season. Yeah. Like her first line sounded like an album. Like sounded like a professional recording. Like it was perfectly sung, perfectly phrased. Yes. Perfect run placed in the perfect spot. And it was all her. It was all you, Tiana. All you. And it was just Tiana, it was just gorgeous. I just thought what you did with the song, I thought it was so personal. Like it was like you can tell that this song truly means something to you. Yeah. I know that you recently were diagnosed with epilepsy, which like again, you are a walking miracle.
Absolutely.
For anyone that knows, epilepsy is nothing to play with, and sometimes it cannot be controlled. Right. And it's and the courage, where you even said, I could have an episode where I can't remember things, like I can't remember song lyrics. Right. And I'm just like, not saying that because that to me doesn't take anything away from your talent, because Tiana, you are crazy talented.
Absolutely.
Crazy talented. And I just had to blink twice because you look like a friend of ours.
Oh my goodness. Like
I had to blink twice. I said, Stephanie, doesn't she look like ... And Stephanie's like, oh my God, of course she does. Yes. And you got a little CeCe Winans. Like, I think you look like CeCe Winans as well. Yes. And that friend of ours is an incredible singer in their own right. Yes. And I loved your family. I love that. I don't know if it was her mom or sister aunt or whatever was singing with her.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And I love, and let me tell you something, Tiana, something that I don't know if you may have caught when you were actually, because, a lot of times when you're singing, you can only see like the first 5 feet in front of you, but all of the judges were singing with you.
Well, they couldn't see.
That's right. They weren't even turned around.
They weren't turned around.
They weren't turned. Well, okay, so you couldn't see it, Tiana, until last night, but they were
right. Yes, that's true.
It's just one of those songs, and when it's done right, it's done right.
Okay. And can I say something real quick as you're talking about that? Because we had this a little bit of this conversation before. When Niall first heard her voice, it was like a Disney movie. Yeah. It felt like a Disney because his face, his jaw dropped, his eyes lit up, and he was like, you could see like the shiny sparkles around his head. Like, what is this voice? It was the most beautiful, touching thing I have seen in a long time. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. So the incredible thing about your voice, Tiana, that a lot of singers do not have, even some of the best singers do not have, your voice touches. Mm-hmm. It touches something. It touches an emotion. Not to do a play on words with the song, but it really does touch an emotion. Yeah. And that is special. Yeah. Absolutely. So go with that, Tiana. Mm-hmm. Go with that when you choose songs going forward, because I'm sure you have all your songs planned out, but we know that some you won't get to do, some you will. Right. But choose songs that touch the way you touch. And that's just the God-given gift that you have.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that you can do extra. It's just in you. Yeah. And I was really touched by your performance. Mm-hmm. It did bring up it did bring up emotions. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
All right. So what you got, Stephanie?
I don't have too much more to add. Just like you said, the beautiful tone to her voice is like radio ready, recording ready. Like I want to hear that voice on a record or on the radio. Her falsetto, how she went into her falsetto was really beautiful. And something else I noticed with her, like I noticed with Kate, is the way that she articulated the words as she was saying them. So the blend of tone and the way that she articulated the words as well was really, really beautiful. I was just in my comfy zone with this song. It was just, oh my God, this is my jam. So it was a beautiful performance. I loved it. And I can't wait to see more of Tiana in the competition.
Yeah, I'm glad she came back and I'm glad she's through.
Yes.
So who she end up choosing?
She's with Team Niall.
I'm telling you, y'all, don't sleep on that team.
Listen.
Don't sleep on them.
Them newbies might come in and take it all.
I'm telling you.
He might come in and take it all. His team is very strong. Very strong.
Very. All right, so who is our last performer of the evening?
Last up was our sneak peek. It was Mary Kate Connor. 17 years old from Ashburn, Virginia. And
shout out to, sorry. I jumped the gun, y'all.
That's all right.
I'm just always excited about
That's all right. Yeah. She sang Stars by Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, who have had an interesting week. Not interesting, a big week this week because they had another contestant do another song of theirs.
What I was going to say, but I got excited and jumped the gun, was shout out to the DMV, Ashburn, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., Nova, as we like to call it here, Northern Virginia. We had our teenager. We had our next teenager.
Yes.
And did you notice there aren't too many teenagers? There aren't as many as for
They're
me
not.
that have been in previous seasons.
Yeah.
And I love Allie's story because I was like, I did voice lessons and my voice teacher saw something in me. And then I got to perform at the Kennedy Center. And anyone that doesn't know that the Kennedy Center is just one step down from Broadway. It's DC's version of Broadway.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal if you get to perform at the Kennedy Center. And you know what? You know what I really liked about her voice? There is a singer that I can't put my finger on that she compliments. And I'm going to have to go back and figure this out because it's burning me. Okay. You know, the thing I liked about Mary Kate's voice was some people just have a natural ability to sing easy.
Yeah.
I felt that Mary Kate, like, it was an effortless, like it doesn't take much effort to produce the beautiful sound that she produces.
Right.
And it's just very effortless. Like that's the only word I can think of to describe her voice. I think she's got great stage presence. As well. And I thought it was a fantastic song choice.
Yes.
That really showed her range.
Yes.
And there was like it was very the fluidity, if that's a word, of her singing, just going in and out of the different parts of her voice, and the colors that she produced were well beyond her 17 years, 17 years. Right. And I just thought it was a beautiful job. Very, very beautiful singing, Mary Kate. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's funny that you said that her voice just sounded kind of easy. I wrote down that it was a light tone to her voice, like very not ethereal really, but just like light.
Easy listening. Easy listening.
Yes.
That's the word I couldn't think of.
Yes. But there was
easy listening.
Yeah, there was a lot of maturity in her melodic choices that she was making with the song. And I don't know the song well, so I don't know if she was doing a version that was very close to the original or whether she was making some of her own melodic choices. But it was really, and I agree with you. She has a lot of range. I love her lows and I loved her highs, and I love how she was able to show all of that within the 90 seconds that they have to do their performance. I think that Mary-Kate has a lot of raw, natural talent.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
And I think that with a little bit of coaching, just a little bit to help with her breath control, that some of the notes in her higher range would project even more than they did last night and be a little bit more solid, even more solid than they were last night. I think that she could be a star because her natural talent is so there that it would not take much to get her to a level where because like you said, she has the stage presence, she has the poise, she's very well spoken, and I think she could be a star. So I hope that she goes far in the competition.
Another thing about her voice that I liked, and I hope this is appropriate. There was a longing in her sound.
Absolutely.
Like almost a teenage angst, right?
There you go. Yes.
It was a longing.
Yeah. It kind of felt like she could have, like if they were in the lives and she was doing this song, you feel like the setup would have been her in a field, in an open field with her just looking at the stars and just kind of like wishing upon the stars, Right. Yes, right. Absolutely.
And I really heard that in her voice. And that to me is the sign of an artist.
Absolutely.
Right? Of an emerging artist.
For sure.
Where you can hear things like longing and angst and things of that nature.
And, absolutely.
And I don't know if she was intentionally trying to convey that and if she was, brava to you, Mary-Kate. But that was another thing I noticed I loved in her voice.
Absolutely. Longing. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So who did she wind up going with?
She is with Coach Blake.
Woo! There. Y'all, don't. It's Blake's last season.
Right.
When it gets on Team Blake, you already have an advantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's his last season. So. So yeah, she could go. She could make a deep run.
Absolutely.
She could make a deep run.
Yep.
Well, a lot to get in an hour. But we also always appreciate the Tuesday night shows because it is an hour.
Yes.
So we can still get a lot of things done. Because Stephanie and I always say we have real lives.
Real lives.
And. This was another very, very strong Tuesday. Are we still going to be in lives next week, Stephanie?
Yes, I believe that they said that we have 2 more shows. So 6 altogether, 2 more next week. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to it because if it's 2 more shows. Sometimes The Voice will save some of the best for the last or for the end.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see what's going on next week. All right, Stephanie. Tell the Pitchies what they need to hear.
Okay, so don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode, except for Spotify. Remember, they're still tripping.
But remember, you can go to Spotify on your desktop. And as long as you're not using the Spotify app, I've noticed, Stephanie, it does update.
But that is so extra.
No. Who uses a desktop?
Go ahead and get on Apple. Get on one of the other ones that you can Google get on your phone real quick. Yeah. All the other ones.
You're like, that's so extra.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm sorry to mess up your flow.
That's okay. And we are on YouTube. If you're watching, you can see that. Search for the Pitchy Podcast and hit the subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
Well, another fantastic week of season 23 of The Voice. And next week, I have a feeling we're going to be like, oh, did you see? My goodness, did you hear?
I can't wait.
So and until we meet again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. And we really, really do appreciate you. Everyone that tunes in week in and week out has been with us since day one. We'll see you next week, everyone.
Bye-bye.